The Hot Springs Board of Realtors has had a long history. Some of us can remember when the deal was sealed with just a one-page contract. Many of our realtors are no longer with us to tell the stories from 30 or 40 years ago.
I've been in this 21 years, and I've had backups. Yes, one backup I have never seen had known of them too. And these people saw this house before we saw this house.
They should have made an offer quick, shouldn't they?
And when this other offer came in, you know, they didn't do anything, but we made it backup.
For the first time ever, we gathered 9 realtors from back in the day in one room to tell their stories and share their history. What follows is a short sample from the 90-minute discussion, HSBOR, A Look Back, now available online at the Board of Realtors website. Enjoy.
The 4 key safes, you had to call the appointment, call the company, and you had to go pick up the keys from their office. Then you had to come back, pick up your client. Then you go show houses. Then you had to take the keys back to the company, and then you came back to work.
Oh, Chris Polychrome lost a lot of keys.
That's why we went to...
But I also remember being on the board about the time the young people came in, like Andy and Scott, and they wanted to get these things called key safes. And I'm thinking, well, it works pretty good for me to go pick up keys and take them back. And I remember my first thought of something called a key safe was, really?
Everything changed because of technology, and those of us, all of us that started so early, everything was done manually. And now everything is so much easier, except for dealing with the people. That stays the same.
No cell phones. I got lost more times than you can imagine being out in the countryside roads. Couldn't even, no GPSs, no cell phones. You'd have to go and find a payphone. Hope you had some nickels and dimes so you could call somewhere to say, where am I? How do I get back to?
I remember when we got our first fax machine.
Oh, yeah.
And that was it. We didn't have to drive across town to deliver a contract. That was just the best technology ever.
Central City was the first shopping center we had, and it was on the edge of town. All right, and it got into where it could connect to city water and city sewer. But when you went south of there, when you went west of there, the state health department shut down all growth.
50 butt rule. If there's a room that has 50 butts in it, yours better be there.
I decided to go to broker school and pass my test, and I moved back to Hot Springs so I could be here and raise my family. And so I was the only one in my family that was ever been in real estate, but best decision I ever made.
But in starting off with Frank Harbor's in-laws office there on Broadway, and the little sheets of paper that we'd hand out. And then we decided we was going to get a little bit larger, and we bought a trailer over here and off 3rd Street, and we operated out of that trailer for a few years. And then Larry listed this property on the corner. And he told us that that would be a good buy. And so we got together and we decided to buy it.
To come into business, the first thing people would ask, I'm graduated from college, I have a degree in real estate finance, and interest rates are 18%, and someone would say, what's my house worth? And it was a lot of pressure because I didn't know. And BJ was probably one of the biggest influences in my life as far as pricing real estate, because I'd listed 3 or 4 properties, and he told me they were overpriced and that would never sell, that one's overpriced, that would never sell. And I said, well, Dad, I really need to get some signs out, And he said, well, do you want a reputation for putting signs up or for taking them down? Real estate is not a 8 to 5 job. It's not Monday through Fridays. It's 24/7 whenever you're needed.
We're 3 generations of realtors in our office, and so she was the first, and I joined her, and then Andy came along and decided that he wanted to be in the business.
I have clients that I show houses to all day long, and they talk about how nice everybody is, from the restaurants to the hotels to people at the track. Everybody's always speaking and friendly, so I think that's a big draw.
The people I've dealt with, they know that we've got tremendous recreational facilities here. We got beautiful lakes, and the main thing that they say is the people are so friendly.
If I ever, as a child, if I ever wanted to have any quality time or one-on-one time with my dad, I had to accompany him on the job. My early childhood memories are measuring houses at 7 years old, learning to hold this end of a tape measure. By the time I graduated college and became licensed, I knew everybody at every title company. I knew all the researchers. I'd go back and do my own research work because I'd grown up as a child. That's all I knew, doing it old school way. Once I met other realtors and peers, it's kind of a prejudgment. They thought I'd be a smart ass for some reason, and
Imagine that.
well, go figure. They were right.
It's a people business. Real estate just happens to be the product we're working with, but it's a people business, and you're trying to sell yourself to them, either to list their property or to sell them.
From wherever. Let me tell you, wherever is a place where they have to drive 30 minutes to 6 hours one way to go to work.
And thank you for joining us on
We haven't had these friends together like this in a long time, if ever.
Well, actually, Larry, we get together without you.
I was going to say it was just last Thursday. We were all together. The meeting's really short.